During the Great Depression of 2026, the new government and the public are so desperate for money that the Great California Lottery is implemented. If someone kills the winner before sundown, they can legally claim the jackpot, the only rule being no bullets. In LA, in 2030, Sean has just won the lottery and is therefore on the run from a huge mob that wants to kill him. Sean doesn't hesitate to fight them all, quickly taking them down before escaping by jumping over a fence. Sean then breaks into a house through a window and finds a grandmother, so he immediately takes her phone and destroys it. Outside, a drone is watching everything. Sean takes a moment to catch his breath and the woman pulls out the Grand Lottery ray gun to kill him instantly. The woman then cracks the ticket to call the lottery team, who break down the door and confirm that the winner is dead. She receives a huge check for $22 million and appears on television. A month later, Katie heads to Los Angeles to restart her acting career. On the bus, she kept staring at the small Oscar keychain, which seemed to be a souvenir. Nearby, a little girl made funny faces to make her laugh, but the girl's father continued to tease his daughter on the phone. Katie approached him and pretended to be a police officer, threatening to take him to social services if he didn't behave. The man began to be nicer to his daughter, while an old woman approached to thank Katie for her service. However, when the woman left, Katie realized that she had stolen her watch. On a billboard, Katie sees an ad for Lewis's security agency and wishes she had bodyguards like that. During the trip, she noticed that everyone on the road was either tense or violent, often both. Meanwhile, the media keeps talking about the next lottery, which will take place in 18 hours. Ticket sales broke a new record, and the next jackpot reached $3.6 billion US. At home, Noelle prepares weapons while singing the Ninja Turtle song. Finally, Katie arrives at the room is rented on the internet and immediately notices that her new roommate Shadi has lied about the condition of place. It was terrible. Shadi herself is pretty nasty. There are photos of her in Katie's room, making terrible jokes and ignoring calls from her supportive mother. Shadi also has an obnoxious boyfriend named DJ, who slaps Katie in a prank when he gives her the keys to her house. The next day, Noelle's ad appears on TV, offering bodyguard services to anyone who wins the lottery. When Katie wakes up, she's horrified to find that the upstairs bathroom is leaking through the roof and ruining her clothes. She calls Shadi to complain because she has an audition in a few hours, but the only way Shadi can help her is by renting clothes. Katie has no choice but to start spending her savings on a terrible outfit and take a taxi because she is running late. The driver continues to make inappropriate comments and discuss celebrity gossip, mentioning that famous rapper Machine Gun Kelly has his own bunker. When Katie gets there, an employee asks her for $400 to get in. Her audition finally begins, and she explains that she starred in many TV commercials as a child, but had to put her career on hold to care for her ailing mother. After her mother passed away, Katie decided to try acting again. She rummages through her bag for her monologue notes and finds Shadi's lottery ticket, which is activated when Katie accidentally places her fingerprint on it. He took her picture and officially registered her as a player. Katie quickly put it away and tried to play, but was immediately hated and kicked out. In the hallway, the other actresses tried to support her. Suddenly, all of their lottery tickets activated, announcing that Katie had won and even revealing their faces. The actresses immediately changed their attitudes and attacked Katie with any object they could get their hands on, even though some of them had knives ready. Even the workers joined in the fight. Katie defended herself using stage fighting lessons and dodged a flying shoe before taking the stairs without understanding what was happening. On the next floor, Katie hid in a room while the actresses ran away. However, she had taken a self-defense class and these men were ready to kill her too. They kept calling her my jackpot as they attacked, and Katie ran around to dodge their moves or get them to fight. She tried to ask what was going on, but they ignored everything she said. While several people fought, Katie was beaten and grabbed by the ankle. The guy turns her around and throws her through the wall, putting her in a yoga class with other people ready to kill. The vigilantes also cross and chaos engulfs the room, where blood begins to flow. When a man grabbed Katie by the neck, Noelle suddenly rushed through the ceiling and saved her by throwing the guy against the wall. Noelle then announced that Katie got 5 free saves, but then the protection cost her 10%. Counting all the people he kept taking down and reaching the end of the free saves, Katie had no choice but to sign the contract with him. He then started to actually fight everyone, even using Katie as a weapon to fend them off. He even tied it to his back to protect her and used his belt as a whip to attack from a distance. Once everyone is down, Katie exits and grabs Christmas's stun gun. After easily bringing him back, Noelle makes sure to position the unconscious bodies so they don't choke on their tongues. He explains that the lottery drone, which is already outside, will show the location of the winner every 14 minutes, so they need to keep going. As they exit the building, Noelle points out that the rules don't allow other players to kill each other. The people in the food truck throw knives at him and Noelle helps him dodge them before they get into his car to escape. As the duo make their way through town, people nearby get a message about their location and prepare to join the fight. The ice cream truck abandons the kids, and even the woman on the bus has a big lottery gun. Back at Noel, he finishes explaining to Katie how the lottery works and is surprised that she doesn't know. Katie points out that she and her mom only watch movies and baking shows and never watch the news because it's too sad. Soon, car is being chased by bikers and ATVs, so Noel puts helmets on both of them before driving off. A Molotov cocktail is thrown at the car and the roof catches fire, but Noel keeps driving and enters an old warehouse as the wind puts out the fire. Suddenly, he makes a U-turn and a biker crashes into it, but then he has to continue past the warehouse to avoid other bikers causing another fire. Katie wants to quit the game, but the only way to do that is to leave town. Noel shoots a guy with a dart to knock him out, then he runs in circles while other enemies throw various objects at them. This creates a lot of dust, so the duo allows the duo to escape by pushing the 4-car without making a sound, and the bikers don't notice until the next Molotov cocktail hits the ground. Katie insisted on stopping, so Noel agreed to take her to the nearest stop. By then, the cyclists had found them and the chase began again. An enemy jumps into the car through the back window and Katie grabs his knife while Noel takes out a dart, but the woman bites his arm. Noel grabs the rearview mirror and hits her with it before demanding Katie drive, ignoring her and telling her she can't. Noel then gets in the back seat to continue the fight, putting another helmet on her opponent before throwing her out of the car. The bikers throw another Molotov cocktail at them and Noel forces Katie through a wall to escape. They stop a car and one biker tries to dodge it while Katie uses her helmet to knock the other down. The duo tried to leave, but the car barely moved before it broke down due to the damage. Katie got out and tried to run away, but Noel stopped her. He explained to her that he wouldn't get paid if she quit, but he still wanted to help her because they had to treat people the way they wanted to be treated. Suddenly, Katie threw sand at her face and it hit her, so Noel had to break her nose to put it back in place. At that moment, a police car showed up and Katie went to ask the police for help, but they wanted to kill her too. Noel catches their mission just in time and starts fighting them off while Katie runs away. On the street, Katie hides behind a map while the crowd notices a nearby drone and starts searching for her. She enters the wax museum and is surprised to learn that the guard is against the lottery, so he lets her hide among the statues. Katie then calls Shadi and asks him to borrow her car. Shadi keeps asking Katie where she is, which makes Katie realize that Shadi is also playing. Soon after, a statue welcomes Katie to the museum, revealing her location. Shadi and DJ then attempt to enter the museum, but the guard reminds them that they are banned for damaging a statue. Shadi punches him unconscious and the two rush inside. Katie hears them and hides behind a statue, but is seen as she tries to escape. The DJ immediately pushed her onto a table and Katie threw a bottle at Shadi's head before throwing sand in DJ's face to keep him away from her. The two then teamed up to fight Katie, who defended herself with a statue's staff. When she was caught off guard, she tried to run away and Shadi kicked her in the back, causing her to lose her staff. In the next room, Shadi and the DJ began beating Katie with half a stick. Katie retaliated by throwing a statue at them, thinking it was Cher when it was actually the Kardashians. The fight continues in the horror room, where they grab all the gadgets available to attack. After much struggling with the costumes and weapons from the movie, Katie runs outside as Shadi throws an axe at her. The weapon hits, but is fake and has no effect. Katie presses a button to shut off the shutter, but remembers what Noel taught her. She repairs the guard's body so he doesn't suffocate, then leaves the museum just before the shutter closes, leaving Shadi and DJ trapped inside. A tour bus guide immediately saw her and announced her location via microphone. Before the attackers could reach her, Noel appeared in a police car and took her away. Katie still doesn't trust him because helping him quit his job means not getting paid, so she assumes he will kill her in private. As the tour bus continues to hit the back of the vehicle, Noel regrets that they don't have a shelter and Katie remembers the taxi driver. Before long, the duo showed up at Machine Gun Kelly, who assumed Katie wanted something dirty when she asked for help. Just then the bus arrives. Katie grabs Noel's dart gun and forces him to open the panic room. Katie and Noel rush inside and give Kelly a dart before trying to close the door. A crowd gathers in the living room and an arm tries to hold the door open, so Noel prepares to shoot him. Thinking he wants to shoot her, Katie grabs her gun and shoots a dart into the arm, forcing him to back away and finally close the door. The room is fully furnished and the duo can monitor the crowd with security cameras. Katie was suspicious of pointing a gun at Noel, so he sat next to her and shared interesting facts about himself to prove he was a good guy. Suddenly the keychain fell out of Katie's bag, and when he said it looked cool, Katie opened it. She chose to become an actress because of her mother, who loved movies and celebrities. Her mother knew Hollywood could be hell, so she gave Katie a keychain to remind her that she would be proud of her no matter what. As a child, she earned a lot of money as a child actress, but her father spent all her money. Noel was very understanding and comforting, so Katie gave him the gun back. She wanted to know why Noel helped her quit smoking, so he explained his priorities. One was to save people's lives, and two was to make enough money to continue saving people's lives. Outside, the crowd continued to knock on S' door, but to no avail. Shotty slapped Kelly to wake him up, but nothing happened, so instead he dragged him into the pool and threatened him to share the password, which was meme 6969. All of this was seen by Katie and Noel, who was angry because he had no choice but to call and ask for help. He orders the so-called phone hit and quickly puts Katie's phone in the safe. The duo then hold the door while Shotty uses the password. However, the crowd freezes when they hear all their phones ringing with an orange alert. However, it is a trap and their phones start to explode, burning several body parts. While everyone is tending to the burns, Katie and Noel head outside to escape, although Noel stops to put out the fire in someone's groin. Outside, a group of guards are waiting with anti-destruction cars and rubber bullet guns. They just wanted to take Katie, but she forced them to take Noel. During the trip, Katie asked Noel if he worked with these people. He explained that he used to, but he was independent now. After a while, they arrived at the headquarters and Katie met Lewis, knowing that it was her security company. She is not impressed with him as he continues to mock Christmas and asks to be taken out of town. However, Lewis gives her a new phone and points out that she is in the most secure building in the country. He also shows off the grenades he has in his pocket. With 4 hours left in the game, Lewis gives them a tour of the grounds and shows them a wall with all the winners they have saved, although the names are anonymous and they have been short of customers for a while. Lewis explains that they charge a 30% fee and Katie signs the contract after receiving some of that money over Christmas. They then see on the security cameras that a crowd is gathering outside, so Lewis decides it would be safer to move Katie to a hidden underground fortress using a decoy vehicle. First, the duo are given medical treatment for their injuries and Noel reveals more about himself. He is a mercenary in the private sector along with Lewis, and their unit is sent around the world to kill horrible people. One day, Noel discovers that his victims are not always the bad guys and he quits midway. This causes mission to fail and only he and Lewis survive. Today, the money he earns will go to the families of his victims and comrades. In return, Katie shared with that her father was her manager and had made her work full-time since she was 8 years old. When she turned 18, she told him that she wanted to manage her own money, so he disappeared with the money. Katie had to take care of her sick mother who passed away a month ago and left her with only $600 and a bus ticket to LA. At that moment, an employee brought in a fake machine. Katie put her face inside and the machine would put a mask on her that made her look like an old man. However, Noel worries that moving Katie makes no sense and the establishment is too expensive to maintain at 30% of its old price, especially since they haven't had any customers recently. After Katie changes clothes to complete her disguise, Noel finally realizes that Lewis is only pretending to protect the winners in order to secretly kill them. Lewis takes them to the car and Katie repeatedly asks to pick Noel up, but Lewis refuses. Desperate, Katie kicks Lewis in the groin and Noel uses a distraction to open the garage door. He then shoots all the guards with his darts as the crowd rushes in, but they do not recognize Katie and ignore her. Noel drags her out and gives her the keycard he stole from a guard, tells her to run while he stalls for time. More guards appear and hold Noel back while Lewis kicks him for information. Suddenly, all the AI-controlled decoy cars take off with Katie hiding in one of them, so Lewis sends his men after them. In the city center, Katie takes off her mask and takes control of the car, so the change in route will alert Lewis's system. Meanwhile, social media is in an uproar because the drones have lost Katie, so if nothing goes wrong, she will be safe from her pursuers until the very end. This allows her to gain fans who see her as a hero. A while later, Katie prepares to leave town but gets a call from Noel, who tells her to come back or he will kill Noel. He actually keeps stabbing him, but Noel tells Katie to run. After a moment of hesitation, Katie turned around and agreed to meet her. Meanwhile, Lewis takes Noel to an old theater and reveals that when they were mercenaries, he always knew they killed civilians. He never worried about it because it was an easy way to make money. Lewis admits that he doesn't like sharing and that's why he killed their team while making it seem like it was Noel's fault. With 15 minutes left, Katie pulls a ray gun from the glove compartment and rushes into the theater, finding Lewis and Noel on stage. She threatens to wipe herself out so no one can get the money, and Lewis doesn't believe her, so Katie points out that he'll kill her anyway. She also tells him that she is recording the scene to post on social media so that he can't get his fingerprints off the gun and say he did it. Katie starts talking about the horrible state of her life and almost pulls the trigger, but Lewis eventually drops the handcuff keys and demands a deal. Katie pretends to give him the gun but instead throws him off the stage, confirming that she was acting. When Lewis is eliminated, the other players immediately start attacking Katie again. Everyone she met today shows up at the theater and blocks all the entrances, so Katie uses any object she can grab to slow them down. Suddenly, Lewis grabs her legs and knocks her down before attempting to kill her. A police officer tries to help her, but Lewis kicks him and continues to fight Katie. Soon, a mob breaks in, so Noel begins to fight them while still handcuffed to the chair and singing the Ninja Turtle song. The chair soon breaks, allowing him more freedom of movement. Katie bites Lewis and disarms him before throwing the keys to Noel, who eventually escapes. As Noel fights Lewis, Shotty appears with a katana to fight Katie, who quickly disarms her and hits her with a headbutt. With 4 minutes left, a huge crowd suddenly enters the theater. Noel Noelle is still fighting Louis, so Katie climbs onto a stage decoration for safety. Louis steals an axe from another player, and Noelle defends himself with symbols, which allows him to finally defeat his old friend. The woman on the bus tries to chase Katie, knocking her down. Noelle then starts breaking the decorations so people can't follow Katie. Louis' men arrive and half of them make a human ladder for Louis to climb while the others deal with Noelle. Louis approaches Katie on the scaffolding and they start fighting until Katie slips. She grabs the edge and reveals that she used her keychain to trigger one of her grenades, which then explodes. Louis dies and Katie falls, but her fans show up with a large flag and catch her just in time. As the countdown reached 0, Katie hugged Noelle and promised to pay him 50%. The lottery people came to give her the check and she announced that she no longer wanted to be an actress. 6 months later, Katie and Noelle are working together on a group of charities such as a free defense agency, a self-defense school and a theater fight, and a center for children with bad parents. Noelle tries to open a Ninja Turtle-themed pizzeria, but he is sued for copyright infringement. The duo also vacation on their own super yacht. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.